In this video, you'll learn about the DeepView module in Synergy Viva. In DeepView, you'll be able to compare and contrast and explore remedies, rubrics, and repertories, how they contrast with each other, digging out which remedies come to the top when you're looking at certain words, and so on and so forth. And this video will show you a lot of this. And so in order to use the rubric portion of DeepView, as well as the repertory and section portion, you must own DeepView in Synergy Viva. To all people who have simply moved over to Synergy Viva without buying a module, you'll have access to the remedy portion. In the remedy portion, you can choose a word, choose a remedy, choose a section, choose a repertory, and then compare. Let's show you how we do that. Let's say that we want to look in the reliable repertory. We want to choose all sections. We're going to choose the remedy pulsatilla. You find it, you select it, and you hit apply. Then under the options, you have the option of either looking at the total rubrics. So you're going to see pulsatilla in every section of the reliable repertory, how those rubrics break out according to all the sections. Let's do that first. Total rubrics, search, and you can see that pulsatilla has 1,557 rubrics in the mind chapter of the reliable. Down here in the vision chapter, the rubrics only total 150. So this is a good idea to understand how a remedy is represented in each section. The other option up here is to go with words. When you choose words, another window opens up. You select the word that you are interested in looking at. Let's choose the word alternating. All right, so we've chosen this word. Now I'm going to hit search again over here. And when you roll your mouse over the column that appears, you see that pulsatilla appears in 52 rubrics with the word alternating. And to see what those rubrics are, you simply click on this column and you're taken into global search and you can see the rubrics. And again, in global search, the rubrics come in chapter by chapter. So here you see 6 of those 52 rubrics in the mind chapter, and you can keep clicking through to find them all. Let's go back to DeepView. You can also do this for multiple remedies. You can do it for a kingdom. Let's hit reset to start over. Let's go back to the reliable. We'll go to all sections. And this time I'm going to choose a kingdom. We'll choose the Ranunculaceae family. And that has pulsatilla in it. And maybe we want to see all the remedies in comparison to pulsatilla in that same family. So I'm going to choose this. I can choose them all, or one, depending on my preference. And you can see that they're all showing up here. And I'm going to choose that word again, alternating. And I'm going to hit search. And now you can see that within this family, pulsatilla has 52 rubrics. Aconite, however, has 85. So it's a good way to compare. You have more remedies in this family that have alternating in their rubrics in a higher volume than pulsatilla. Let's look at the rubric option here. I'm going to hit reset. Rubrics. How do you explore rubrics in DeepView? You come into DeepView from either repertory module, a clipboard, or global search. When you're in global search, you simply hover your mouse on a rubric, right click, and you can open DeepView here from global search with that rubric. Come to a clipboard, and you can right click on any one of these rubrics, open DeepView. And from the repertories, of course, any of these chapters, come to a rubric you want to explore or compare with other rubrics, and then you have that option. Let's go ahead and take this rubric into DeepView so we can take a look at it. The rubric is abrupt. Here it is, mind abrupt. Select rubric comparison, which allows you to see how many kingdoms are represented in this rubric. Let's hit search. The column that you see has colors that are represented by the kingdoms: red for animal, blue for mineral, green for plant, and so on. But you can always roll your mouse over the column to get the exact numbers. And you can see that animals, minerals, and plants are somewhat evenly distributed here in this rubric, with a few other types of kingdoms, like the imponderables and the bacteria each have one. You get the same information if you choose kingdom. It's a slightly different view. Let's look at that now. Here you get the columns broken down into separate columns for each kingdom, and if you scroll your mouse over each one, you get that number again. Okay, so after that we have section affection. What is that about? Let's click it. We are asked to select a repertory or repertories. What if we want information about somebody with abruptness in the mind chapter, but they also have a vision problem? And so I'm going to choose vision here, section affection, as you know, and we're going to hit search. And what this tells us, we can roll the mouse over each column, is that all those remedies that were in mind abrupt are also represented in the vision chapter. Phosphorus the most, 276 rubrics. We can click to go view those, and on down the list. And anytime you want to know what those rubrics are for a remedy, again, you just click. The color represents the kingdom. The gradation of the color represents grades within the rubrics. And you can see that this arrow here is blue. That means that there's more that you need to click to see the rest of the remedies in mind abrupt. I'm going to go ahead and click, and you can see it goes on down. There's room to go further. And we get down, you see, we can't go further now. We get down to, for instance, Blada, that has exactly one rubric in the vision chapter. It's in mind abrupt, but it only has this one rubric in the vision chapter. Okay, we're going to go back to DeepView. I'm going to hit reset. I will now go take a rubric from Global Search and show you you can take one from here as well. I'm going to go ahead and re-trigger Fear of the Dark and get one of those rubrics. I'm going to choose this one and right click, take myself to DeepView. Our other option is words. When you choose words, that means you're trying to hone in on a particular word from the remedies in that rubric. And so let's say that we want to find asthma. We want to find asthma. I'm going to select it. You can see that it's selected here. And I'm going to choose my repertory. I can choose multiples if I wish. And asthma, I'm going to go find the respiratory chapter. All right, so what we're looking for now, remember, is which of these remedies in the rubric Fear of the Dark contain a rubric with the word asthma. We're going to hit search. And our result comes in below. And again, you roll your mouse and you can see Lycinum has one such rubric. These are going in reverse order. So we have, for instance, carcinosin has 2. I'm going to click on this arrow. We're going to go further down the list. And there's room to go further. Arsenicum is the one that has the most rubrics. I'm going to click on that. And you can see all the different rubrics, all 74 of them that contain arsenicum in the respiration chapter of the reliable repertory. You can choose more than one word. Let's say you want asthma and cough. I'm going to trigger this search. And now we have asthma showing. And we have cough. You can see the word right here. And asthma. I'm going to hit reset here. And I'm going to go back to the repertory module. Open a chapter. And I want to show you how you can take more than one rubric. Let's say we wanted to take absent-minded and absorbed, buried in thought. Holding down the Command or the Control key to select both. Right-clicking, open these in DeepView. I'm going to look at the words again. And what I'm interested in is for somebody that has absent-mindedness or the picture of being buried in thoughts, they have that trait, but they also have cystitis. So we're going to type cystitis, choose it, choose my repertory, choose my section, which would be the bladder section, is the one I'm interested in at the moment. I'm going to hit search. And now you see the word is here. And all these have one rubric, it looks like. Let's go further. And here we have one that's got 3. I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going until I get to, well, this is no surprise. Cantharus has the most rubrics. So it's in these rubrics that represent absent-mindedness. They do represent slightly different ideas, but if we're not quite sure if it's an absent-mindedness or an absorbed, buried in thought pathology, we've taken them both, so we won't miss anything. And so we see all these remedies that have come up now that are in the bladder chapter also representing cystitis. Cantharus, of course, the largest one. But you also have arsenicum, sepia, conium, pulsatilla to consider. And again, we can go the opposite direction to get to the smaller ones. And again, if you want to see a particular remedy, click on it. Click on that column, and you're taken to global search where you see those rubrics. I'm going to hit reset. Repertory and section gives you the capability to get an overall comparison between repertories or between sections in repertories. If you want to see how many rubrics are in each section of a repertory, this is how you do it. You select your repertory, choose all sections, total rubrics, search, and you're given each chapter, and you can roll your mouse over the column, and you're given the number of how many rubrics are in that chapter for that repertory. And again, use these arrows if you want to go further down the list. You can compare repertories. Let's say we want to compare the reliable to Kent's. Let's look at the all sections, total rubrics, search. And now you can see that in all the years that have passed between Kent's repertory and the reliable, quite a lot of rubrics have been added to that total pool. You can also look at kingdoms here. And again, the reliable has more remedies, so it's going to have a larger amount of remedies in each kingdom than an older repertory like Kent. I want to show you one more thing. Let's reset and go back to our clipboard. And you see here, I've got these rubrics on a clipboard. If I want, I can look at the top 5 remedies here. I'm going to hold down my Command or Control key to select all of them. right-click, open DeepView for selected remedies. So now I'm looking at the remedies that have come to the top of my graph. And what I want to do is look at words. So currently our clipboard is full of mental symptoms. Let's say that our case also had throbbing head pain. We're going to come over here. We're going to do throbbing, choose throbbing. I'm going to go to the reliable. I'm going to choose the head section right here. Okay, we're going to hit search. And now you can see sepia is the most likely of these top 5 remedies to have a throbbing head pain. Let's go ahead and look at those 44 rubrics by clicking on this column. And here you can look at the rubrics and you can choose the ones that you do want to take to your clipboard. Let's go back to DeepView for a minute. Pulsatilla also has 39, and I could click there to go see those, and so on and so forth. Serenum has the fewer. It might be interesting to click there also and look, just to see if anything exactly matches. You don't want to discount just because it's a low number. For instance, it's a small rubric here that the headache is throbbing as if beating with little hammers, and that it awakens them every morning. If there's something as very specific as that in your case, you don't want to discount a remedy just because it's got fewer rubrics when you search it in DeepView. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you have a lot of fun exploring DeepView. Remember, if you have Viva, remedy here is something that you can explore. If you want to go further and get the rubric and the repertory and section areas of DeepView, please talk to your sales representative and you can add that to your Viva program. Thank you for watching.